it's safe to say that Marquise King definitely lived up to the hype this past season. The highly regarded junior college transfer from Independence Community College, as we know, was a staple on the show Last Chance U. Delivered from the jump. If you go back to the season opening win against Missouri Western, that touchdown he had on the scramble drill from Stephon Brown, top 3 UCO plays in my time of covering them, for sure. And the big plays, it just continued. Pitt State, he had a couple of big touchdowns in that game. Lincoln, he had a good game. But the problem with Marquise, and this will be said for the unit really as a whole, was just the drops in crucial situations. It definitely was a problem against Washburn, especially. I mean, there were some big gains that he dropped. You could say the same against Kearney, and it wasn't just Marquise, but especially last year with Diego Richards, who's no longer on the team. He's transferring, especially with him missing a good chunk of the season. Marquise was about the lone deep threat, and so in order to stretch the field, we really needed him to come up with those grabs. But again, you can't really complain much about a guy that in 10 games had 40 catches, 665 yards, 16.6 yards a catch with 5 touchdowns along with 78. Again, and then also in the return game, had 269 yards returning on kickoffs, and so again, we know we're getting a Marquise. I hope again that he stays healthy, and we can get the drops fixed, right? Then you're looking down the list here. Josh Moore, for the second straight year, started off slow, and he ended really strong. Because if you had told me roughly 3 or 4 games in that he would have finished the season with 51 catches for 645 yards and 2 touchdowns with a long of 75, I would not have believed you. Josh is a possession guy. I mean, he's not, he's not a possession guy. Sure-handed, made some really tough catches. Had a nice touchdown on 4th down against Pitt State. Keep hopes alive in that one. So I will miss Josh. And then we go look here, trying to buy the 4th. I kind of expected more out of Bazel the 4th. I'm not gonna lie to you here. He's a guy that had more drops this year. I feel like the past couple of seasons, right? I always went back to he made the tough catches. We're talking about running the slants across the middle of the field, getting lit up. Was able to make the catch. I felt like he kind of dropped some gimmies this year. He did finish with 11 catches for 98 yards. And then on punt returns, scared the daylights out of me sometimes. Running to field kicks in the face of 3 or 4 defenders there. I hope we can get that fixed a little bit there, because that is concerning, especially as the main punt returner. He had 17 returns for 110 yards. But again, I feel like we had a down year by his standards. And again, Johnny is one of the more sure-handed guys on the roster. Then we had 2 true freshmen to play: Sherrod Davis out of Del City, Jalen Teague out of Booker T. Washington. Both only had 6 catches on the season. Sherrod for 77 and Teague for 56. Now, I believe it was Sherrod Davis had that block punt against Washburn there. These are both big body receivers, 6'2", 6'3", I believe, over 200 pounds, big physical dudes. And that was something that was lacking in previous seasons really was the big outside threat. It used to solely be Dawson Huddleston, especially after Elliott Curry was kicked off the team, and then Josh Crockett graduated, and Mikael Hall also departed the program. Those are two guys I'm really excited to see the growth of. And then rounding it out here, we're looking at H-back. And I'm glad we finally got Dante McGee some catches. Now, if you listen to the podcast in the past, big Dante McGee fan. Again, he was a running back at UConn, came in at like 225, 230 pounds. I believe he played last season at like 265. Just an absolute beast. I know, it was tough to get him involved early with the offensive line struggles. They had to keep him in there to block. But again, against Pitt State, he had a nice outing there. I believe he had a touchdown against Emporia. I do believe it was against Emporia where he had a touchdown. It was either Emporia or Fort Hays where he had a touchdown. He finished the season with 28 catches for 245 and 1 touchdown. Again, I hope he gets utilized more this season under the new staff, because to me Dante has that rare blend of size and speed, and he knows what to do. Obviously can run you over. If you look at if it was the Kearney, is either the Washburn or the Kearney game, and I gotta say, he was dragging guys, and so this is a guy I really feel like can have a breakout season if just given the opportunity, because again, the matchups against linebackers, it's going to be tough to cover, because again, he can go past you. He's so big. If he gets in front of you, you try to go, if you try to go over, you'll probably get called for pass interference. So I'm thinking that it'll be a big year for Dante. And again, hopefully someone, specifically by Zell IV, Quindon Lewis was a Abilene Christian transfer, I do believe, so him and Coach Doral will know each other. Hopefully those two can take the next step, along with some redshirted guys. I believe there was Javen Wright out of Vian. I know Coach Bobek was really high on. And then there's a dude out of Hugo, I believe his name is Chris Adkins Jr. That tape reminded me a lot of Josh Crockett, and we all know what kind of player Josh Crockett was. One of the better receivers in school history, spent time with the Kansas City Chiefs, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the Dallas Renegades. And so if we can get some Josh Crockett type stuff out of Chris Adkins Jr., that'd be much appreciated. But again, I think consistency-wise, if we can improve on that, can eliminate some of the easy drops, I really think that this unit can take the next step in 2022. Thank you all for listening. Join me next week as we break down the very impressive season that the defensive line had and what they can do to build upon that moving forward. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.